And then there's a beautiful hadith on the authority of Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah Ta'ala be pleased with him. He states that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took me by the shoulder and said, "Be in this world as though you were a stranger or a wayfarer." What is that? What does that mean? That refers to the kind of relationship we should have with the dunya. To be like a stranger, living in a land strange to him or her, where the main aim is to gather whatever you require to return to your home, or be like a traveler who doesn't stay in one place. No, you're urging to go home, you're yearning to go home, and that your night and day is spent in traveling towards your homeland. That is what a stranger does, just merely passing through like a traveler, going to their ultimate destination. That is how we should regard the worldly attractions and all that it contains. Yes, it is part of life, but these things should never detract us from our ultimate destination. Imam Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah states that the dunya, this world that we live in, it's like a shadow. If you try to catch it, you will never be able to do so. But if you turn your back to it, it has no choice but to follow. What is a shadow? A shadow is that if you run after it, you can never catch it. It's not real. It's not substantive. It comes and goes depending on the sun. And that is the nature of the dunya. It's an ephemeral, short-lived thing that comes and then will be taken away, leaving us with nothing. And this again is explained in the Holy Quran. Allah Ta'ala states, "Know that the life of the world is nothing but a sport and pastime, and superficial beauty, and mutual boasting and self-praise, and ambition to excel in wealth and children over one another." Is that not such an apt and accurate description of our lives? Because we all know that we will die and meet our Creator. When we hear someone who dies, what do we say? We say, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un." What does that mean? Indeed, to Allah we belong, to Allah we shall return. We all believe in Allah. We all believe in the hereafter. We know that we will die. We know that we will face our Lord on the day of judgment. We know all these things. We have this knowledge. But why doesn't it affect us? Imagine if an angel were to come from the heavens and watch the way we behave in our lives. Surely if an angel were to come from the heavens to watch us, what would these angels think? Are these people serious? Do they not know that they will be returning to their Lord soon? Are they not making preparations for that meeting? Our lives will surely look like a game to them, a sport, something just to pass the time. And isn't that the case? If the angel was to come and see us, they would say, yeah, this is just a sport to them. They just seem to be unaware of their actual destination. And are our lives not like a competition, just as Allah Ta'ala states, wanting to excel in wealth, wanting to have the better car than our neighbors, wanting to have a better house than our friends? We have ambition. We compare our children to others' children. What are they doing? What are the neighbors doing? What is society doing? What are our friends doing? Social pressure, social media, and the pressures that goes along with it. This is exactly what Allah Ta'ala states, that this is what this life is about. It's just a play. It's just a pastime. Don't be obsessed with it. And then Allah Ta'ala states later in that same ayah, and the life of the world is nothing but belongings that deceive. So this world, this dunya, this worldly attractions is full of deception. So why do these layers of the dunya build up? Even though we are temporary, even we know we are temporary, and we know we will be returning to Allah Almighty. Because all these worldly attractions, these lusts and desires are a fortification for the nafs, that inner lower part of our soul, whose sole aim is to ensure that we stay as far away as possible from Allah Ta'ala, from the nearness of Allah Almighty. That is the job of the nafs, to make sure that the dunya and all its attractions are beautiful to us, so that we run to the dunya. Allah Almighty warns us about the nafs in the Holy Quran, in Surah Yusuf, in Ayah 53. Allah Ta'ala states, certainly the self commands much evil, and this is nafs al-ammara. Nafs al-ammara, the commanding nafs. It commands us to evil, and it is within us. So it commands us to commit sins. It commands us to go towards the dunya, to go towards worldly attractions, because it wants to subjugate us. It wants to control us. The nafs wants to dominate the ruh, the spirit which is heavenly, which is from the heavens, which is linked to the heavens. The nafs wants to control the ruh and is continually plotting and planning. How can it take over the seat of the ruh, which is the heart, the qalb? That is a capital city of the ruh. And so the nafs is always plotting and planning. How can I dominate over that? How can I control the ruh? How can I make the ruh strong so that I can overtake the heart? And what does it do? It needs to fortify itself. It needs to create an armor around itself. It needs to create something so that the ruh cannot penetrate. And these layers of the dunya, these worldly attractions, they provide the nafs with an armor, a shield to protect it from our remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the light of our ibadah, the nur of our zikr, the radiance of our prayers, all these rays of light, they have the capacity to control the nafs, to keep it in check. But the nafs is very clever. It doesn't want those rays. It doesn't want that light. It doesn't want that nur of your ibadah entering into the body, entering into the heart. So what does it do? It surrounds itself with the allure of the dunya and prevents those rays of light coming into your heart, breaking through. Because that nur, that zikr, that ibadah, that is a sustenance of the ruh and the qalb. That is a sustenance of the ruh. So the nafs, it makes you follow the dunya. So it creates those layers between you and Allah Ta'ala's nearness. It creates those layers of the dunya so that ibadah cannot fall through. Allah Almighty states in Surah Ash-Shams, Surah 91, ayahs 9 and 10, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, قد أفلح من زكاها. Indeed, the one who purifies his ill-commanding self from all vain and vicious desires and cultivates its virtue and piousness succeeds. And then Allah Ta'ala states, وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. But the one who corrupts himself in sins and suppresses virtue is doomed indeed.